And roughly $20 billion of the Farm Bill focuses on creating new incentives for small farmers to practice regenerative agriculture. WBKO reporter Derek Parham spoke with experts on sustainable ag and local farmers to bring us the details.
You know, people kind of call row cropping these days the old way of farming, but to me it's commodity, industrial, because the old way is this.
Regenerative agriculture has resurfaced in recent years, with the idea of planting a diverse array of native food rather than endless rows of one crop. Studies have shown that methods that work in harmony with nature help increase soil health, biodiversity, and long-term benefits for the surrounding area.
So the traditional ag practices, as we see that mainly, monoculture or corn and beans over and over again, that depletes or that degrades the soil eventually. Obviously, we have more profit or more yield from that traditional ag practices or industrial ag, but eventually it depletes the soil from the bacteria, or it degrades the organic matter, or the organic matter just lots.
For the last 8 years, Willie Houston has been practicing regenerative agriculture on his farm in Rockfield, removing invasive species, undoing the damage of monoculture fields that existed there before, and fostering a healthy relationship between his animals and the land.
In this area, it's long ago now, but you'll see old pictures of like green pastures of thousands of buffalo rotating. We can't do that nowadays because of private property and fences. And so I'm not complaining about that. That's just where we're at, and so we can't go back to that. So we have to emulate systems. You can have a whole bunch of animals in one spot, and it actually can increase the health of the land if you're constantly moving them every few days. That's the key. Like with buffalo, would constantly be moving.
Aside from the benefits of more nutritious food and more biodiverse areas, moving away from industrial farming has a much wider payoff in the long term.
And eventually all this is connected to the, combating the climate change. Okay, so if we sequester more carbon into the soil, then it means that in other terms, we are releasing less carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. So that's kind of the whole picture is.
Since switching to regenerative farming, Houston says the payoff has spoken for itself.
I keep going back to the saying recently of just these short-term gains that are actually meager to the landowner, farmer themselves. They won't outweigh the long-term losses that we'll see, and we're starting to see that in our lifetime,
Reporting in Warren County, Derek Parham, WBKO News.